Hello to everyone watching. If you are a regular viewer, yes, this is another English episode. Why, you might ask? Well, the results on my last video were inconclusive. In other words, I don't know where you are from. So please let me know in the comments below where you are watching this video from and what language has your preference to watch this video in the future. Thank you very much, and now on to the episode.
Now, with all of that out of the way, this is Inside Monthly, the show in which I provide insight with regards to the game releases of the month. It's February and it seems we are entering a very early Q4. Get ready to experience, or better yet, try not to die in a new Soulsborne game. Discover a new horizon in a long-awaited sequel and get ready for the next chapter in the zombie apocalypse in combination with melee combat and free running. This and more is what you can expect from this episode of Inside Monthly. When Horizon, the new IP of Dutch studio Guerrilla Games, hit in 2017, the key question was not if a sequel would follow, but more when players could get their hands on this sequel. And as with any good game, we, gamers, had to be patient again. Especially when you consider that this game was actually planned for 2020. Anyway, after a long wait, we can now explore the Forbidden West, again with the red-haired protagonist, Aloy. The arcane frontier, better known as the Forbidden West, seems to be the source of a mysterious plague that infects all machines. It's up to Aloy to see what is causing these machines to go wild. Of course, Forbidden West is still set in a post-apocalyptic setting, this time exploring areas in the western part of the United States, such as California, Nevada and Utah. Recognizable landmarks such as the Golden Gate Bridge and Yosemite Valley will appear throughout the game. The open world is larger than its predecessor, and of course many of the mechanics of the original game have been improved, such as melee combat and climbing. A newly added feature is that of underwater exploration. This time around, players will be able to unravel the mysteries beneath the surface of seas, lakes and rivers. Ashley Burch, Lance Reddick and John Hopkins, among others, will return to their roles as Aloy, Silence and Errant respectively. The game will be released on PS4 and PS5, which I think is a damn shame, as I would have loved to see the Horizon sequel and with that the Decima engine make the full jump to PS5. The PlayStation 5 version of Forbidden West will obviously benefit from faster loading times, DualSense controller functionality, 3D audio and a higher graphics standard, among other things. Are you ready to explore a new horizon? For years, the Japanese studio From Software has been honing and refining its skills, with their games even spawning a completely new genre with lots of creators trying to copy their style of gameplay in some type of way. The genre is of course called Soulsborne, but can easily be translated to self-torture as well, because these games are known for their extreme difficulty. Elden Ring, which was made in collaboration with Game of Thrones writer George R.R. Martin, aims to bring all the studio's past efforts together in sort of an Avengers type of way. The gameplay in Elden Ring is pretty much what you can expect from a From Software game, with the big twist that it's an open world game now. The Soulsborne games carry a reputation of sewing different worlds together as if they were one. But within the lands between, as the world of Elden Ring is called, players will be able to determine their own path from start to finish. Another big change comes in the form of traversal, because thankfully you will be able to explore this huge open world on horseback. But if you're playing the game in co-op, you will, sadly, have to walk to your destination. But on the plus side, you won't be walking alone. Elden Ring really feels like a greatest hits album from Software. I saw some comments about them reusing enemies from past games, which I think is too bad, but I hope it won't be too much of a problem. To end this segment, I want to express that I think it's a really damn shame that Elden Ring is also releasing on older gen consoles, because that makes the PS5 version look like the PS4 version running on superior hardware. If you think the game looks anything like the Demon's Souls remake, you are sorely mistaken. Having said that, fortunately the gameplay feels familiar with some cool additions. I for one cannot wait to start this adventure. Dying Light 2 is an interesting story all of its own. For those of you who don't know or have since forgotten, the original Dying Light was created by developer Techland and by the team who also created Dead Island, further trying to capitalize on the popularity of zombies. Dying Light was meant as a twist on Dead Island, combining an open world full of zombies with extreme parkour gameplay. Dying Light 2 has had a rocky time in terms of development, with it being first announced during the Xbox E3 2018 presentation, with many delays to follow. In January 2020, the first delay was announced with the developer pushing the release out of its original early 2020 slot, with no new release date communicated. What followed was a lot of silence and uncertainty about the ambitious sequel, which didn't show its head again until May 2021. This time the game was planned to release on December 7th of that same year. However, the game eventually got moved to February 2022, and that's where we are now. But what kind of game is Dying Light 2 Stay Human? Well, it's actually still an open world action RPG which takes place in a zombie apocalyptic setting. Even though the original Dying Light was already an action RPG, the sequel is more RPG focused, making slight changes to the skill tree and adding dialogue options that influence story and gameplay. 15 years have passed since the events from the original game. You play as the new protagonist Aiden Caldwell. The game is set in The City, a European-based world that is 4 times bigger than its predecessor. And just like in the original, zombies are way more aggressive at night than they are during the day. When exploring the city, players can scavenge different scraps and resources for crafting new items and weapons, with again a big emphasis on melee combat. Parkour returns as an important mechanic and as a means of traversal through the big open world. It's back, and developer Techland has really doubled down on this mechanic, with over 3000 of parkour animations included, bringing a more fluid feeling of free running. One of the new additions to discover the various rooftops of the city comes in the form of a hang glider. And just like its predecessor, Dying Light 2 Stay Human also features a multiplayer mode which can be played with up to 4 players. Have you been waiting for Dying Light 2? French developer Slowclap is gearing up for its second game, Sifu. Just like Absolver, which was released in 2017, Sifu is also a game that focuses on martial arts and melee combat. Aesthetically, it feels like an old martial arts film from like the 80s or 90s. In terms of gameplay, the game does something very interesting. Each time your character dies, it also ages. Upon dying, you can use a pendant to upgrade your moveset. The usage of this pendant, however, is limited. And dying also means that you will be able to take less damage as well. I think this is a really cool risk-reward type of mechanic. If you're too busy this month, like me, or a fan of physical media, like me, you could also wait until May for the physical edition, which was announced last week in the form of the Vengeance edition. Let me know in the comments if you will be picking this game up on day 1. The franchise that once started as Race Driver Grid is back with its 5th entry in the franchise and seems to completely turn the wheel for Grid Legends. Grid Legends will offer more than 130 tracks to race on, ranging from real-life circuits like Brands Hatch, Suzuka International Racing Course and the return of Mount Panorama Circuit, but also the ability to race on street circuits in various big cities such as San Francisco, Paris, London and Moscow. The game will also feature more than 100 vehicles, including touring cars, semi-trailer trucks, open-wheel cars, drift cars, electric cars and more. Grid Legends story mode called Driven to Glory uses live action scenes with actors such as Ncuti Gatwa, among others, being involved. Gatwa is known for playing the role of Eric in the hit Netflix series Sex Education. This will also be the first time we will be seeing Nathan McCain, a staple for the franchise, making a physical appearance. Will you put your pedal to the metal for Grid Legends? I really can't wait any longer to finally dive into the world of Elden Ring, and when I'm not playing that with my friends, my sessions will be interrupted with Pokemon Legends Arceus and of course Horizon Forbidden West. Sifu also looks like an interesting title, but due to my lack of time I like to wait for the physical version. And what about you? What games are you getting this month? Let me know in the comments or on Twitter with Inside Monthly. Speaking of letting me know, would you please be so kind to help me discover where you are from? I am curious about viewership among countries. Please comment with your country of origin either in text or by using your flex country. Thanks in advance. Next month I am back with a new episode of Inside Monthly. Until then, enjoy your games, subscribe to the channel if you're new, click on the notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future, and lastly a thumbs up or leaving your feedback in the comments really helps me out a lot.